It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment.
Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
From the river to the sea. You've probably heard that in the news recently. Let me explain what that means. So as many of you know, Claudine Gay has resigned as the president of Harvard. She's only been in that position for about 6 months. I want you to know that this is not a political video, and I am not making any type of a psychological diagnosis here. This is just some body language analyzing from basic information that's available to anyone. I do have 2 questions for you. I want you to put the answers in the comment section. Number 1, are you happy that she resigned? And number 2, do you think that she should still be on staff? Go ahead and put that answer in the comment section and let's get started.
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful.
I'm going to run that clip again, and I want you to pay attention to how she does not use her hands or her body to illustrate. She uses her head only. There's a couple things I want you to pay attention to. Number 1, she has her eyebrows raised constantly. This is not all the time with her. I've seen some of her baseline. She speaks normally with most people. Now, when we do an eyebrow flash like this, it's to bring attention to us for something we're saying, or we do it sometimes if you walk into a room and you see somebody you know, you'll do, hey, one of these things, like I know you. But you'll notice that she simply has her eyebrows up the whole time because she truly believes everything that she's saying is vitally important for you to hear. So I'm going to run this clip again, and I want you to notice that she's using her head to do all the illustrating. She's going to talk about the types of speech that they allow. And you'll also notice that when she says things that she wants you to clearly hear, she nods her head with the words.
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct.
And this is where it's going to get interesting, because she's alluding to the fact that people are only saying words. And when speech crosses into conduct, that's when we have to do something about it, or that's when we discuss doing something about it. Watch this next clip and tell me if you think that there's conduct happening.
It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying. It's when that speech crosses into conduct.
You see the conduct here? This guy on the left in the hoodie, he is clearly touching and restraining, and he's got his hands on this guy. This is actually called assault. No one's going to charge him, but technically it's assault. So conduct is happening. Pay attention here. The guy on the left is actually putting his hands on the victim in the center. You can see his hands right here. His hands are on him, and this is considered assault. The definition of assault is the illegal act of causing physical harm or unwanted physical contact to another person, or in some legal definitions, even the threat or the attempt to do so. It is both a crime and a tort, and therefore may result in criminal prosecution, civil liability, or both. Now, is anybody going to prosecute these people? Probably not. But technically it gets worse here if you really want to go by the book. Check this out. This is called false imprisonment. Now, why do we say that? Because technically this guy here is the victim, and he's being held against his will by the guy on the left who won't let him escape, and the guy right here on the right who's got his arm up around him and holding onto a flag so the man cannot escape. This is against his will and he can't move. So by definition, what is false imprisonment? False imprisonment or unlawful imprisonment occurs when a person intentionally restricts another person's movement within any area without legal authority, justification, or the restrained person's permission. Actual physical restraint is not necessary for false imprisonment to occur. So we see false imprisonment happening here because it's against his will. And we see assault happening here. So by definition, the words have turned into conduct.
It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment,
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel?
The speech that they're talking about are students chanting intifada. Intifada is an Arabic word which means an uprising or a shaking off of somebody or something. And it also often includes violence, physical violence whenever that is necessary. And they're also chanting from the river to the sea. You've probably heard that in the news recently. Let me explain what that means. This is a modern map of Israel. And you'll notice on the right, this is the Jordan River. And on the left, you'll notice that this is the Mediterranean Sea. So when they say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, what they're saying is that the state of Israel, it's in the middle of this, it must be eliminated, it must be removed. So what they're literally calling for when they say from the river to the sea is the removal of or the destruction of the nation of Israel.
Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression.
Here she's beginning to shake her head no as she's speaking, and this is to show that she doesn't believe that the person asking the question clearly understands, or she's got a false idea of what's going on. And she's trying to defend herself and Harvard by saying, we give latitude, we give freedom, and then she says, we give a wide berth to freedom of expression.
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
This is called closed eye talking. Notice her eyes are closed as she's speaking here. We do this for multiple reasons. Sometimes people close their eyes when they speak because they feel superior to who they're speaking to. Generally, this happens in a situation like maybe you're talking to your neighbor who is really big on recycling, but you're not. They will say things like, yeah, I really do my part to help, or I really do try to care about the environment. And that's to have an air of superiority. That's not what's happening here. The closed eye talking here is more of a general sense of when you close your eyes and speak, you're trying to keep things out, or you're trying to keep things in. If you're keeping it in, it may be a good thought and you want to hold on to it and you don't want to let it go yet. Maybe. Or if it's a bad thought or something you know is going to be rejected, you may close your eyes because you know rejection is coming. Or you may close your eyes and talk because you're trying to keep something negative away. So the eyes being closed are a barrier. And in this last clip, you'll notice that Miss Gay continues to illustrate with her head as she's making points. Her eyebrows are still up because she truly believes every single thing that she's saying must be listened to because it's very important.
Even of views that are objectionable.
You and I both know that's
offensive.
not the case. You were aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
As I observed earlier, I reject that characterization.
It's the data shows it's true.
If the data shows it's true, and the data does. So my question to you is just like at the beginning. Number one, are you happy that she resigned? And number two, do you really think that she should still be on staff? Because she is. She's still getting her $900,000 a year. She's just simply not the president anymore. And if you're still here, click on one of these other videos. I have several more that are coming out very soon. So I will see you in one of them very quickly.